What is up, my fellow Chibits? Hopefully all of you are having a very good day today or night, depending on whenever you watch this video. As you can see by the title and on the screen, I'm going to be covering an article on Crunchyroll that came out 2 days ago, and it covers the Anime Awards of 2016. What was the best of what? For instance, the Hero of the Year, to the best animation, to the best opening, best ending, so forth, so on. And so I want to be covering this article. Link is in the description if you want to see the article for yourself, but I'm here to give you my thoughts on, the winners and the losers of this article. So yeah, I've been mentioning it all day on Twitter and stuff, and saying I'm going to be making a video on this because many of you asked for it, and so here I am to give you all my thoughts on the winners and the losers. So as we can see, first things first, like right at the start of the article, Hero of the Year. We have Izuku from Boku no Hero Academia, and in all honesty, I can see why many might say he's the Hero of the Year. I mean, I can see why he's the winner, and I mean, the runner-up is Satoru Fujinuma, which had 28% of the votes, and the most popular other would be Josuke from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4. I mean, overall, in terms of Hero of the Year, it makes sense in a way. I personally have no problem with the winner of Hero of the Year, to be honest, because, I mean, Izuku makes sense. He wants to be a hero, and Boku no Hero Academia had a very good start, a very good anime, a good budget, a good team working on it, and I feel like many would remember how good Boku no Hero Academia was. So, in all honesty, I think, Izuku being the Hero of the Year, it makes sense why many would vote for him. And FYI, if you're unaware, this does not mean that, he is the best Hero of the Year. Like, let's say there's some series I haven't watched from this year, which there was a lot. I haven't watched from, like, 2016. It doesn't mean Izuku is automatically the best. It just, when it comes down to it, this is a popularity poll. It's like everybody coming together on what they think is the best of last year. It's a popularity poll. It doesn't mean that it's fact. For instance, it's fact that these characters are the best, or, best opening or whatever. It just comes down to popularity and what everybody truly enjoyed from, last year of anime. And so it's kind of more of seeing what everybody was kind of into last year. So anyways, winner Izuku, I have no problem with. I mean, who do you think should have won? Do you think, Satoru should have won? Which, I want to be honest with you, no. No, I'm sorry, no. Satoru shouldn't have won. But, Josuke, though, runner-up, I could see Josuke being a runner-up, definitely. Josuke, if it wasn't Josuke or Izuku, I'd be fine with Subaru from Re:Zero, definitely, as one of the heroes, because that man, he stands for being a real hero towards the end of the series. I mean, he had a very rough and shaky start with his character, but the way he developed throughout the series, he definitely, at the very least, even if he's not the winner, I think he should have at least been, like, most popular, other, or a runner-up. I mean, Josuke, he deserves as well. He definitely deserves to be, like, winner or runner-up, too. But overall, I have no problem with the board besides Satoru being on the list. Anyways, Villain of the Year. Okay. So this is the one I have the biggest problem with. And I've made it very clear on Twitter how I feel about this person that won. And as I already said earlier in this video, it's a popularity poll. So it doesn't come down to who's the most well-written character. It doesn't. It doesn't come down to that. It just comes down to what everybody watched the most of and probably think that was the best from last year. And honestly, I right now am just, like, disgusted how Kira is the runner-up and he lost. This man, Kira, lost to Gaku from Erased. I'm sorry, okay? My personal opinion, Erased was a shit series. After thinking about it over these past couple months, I'm not the biggest fan of Erased. I mean, there was a lot of, plot points that were not explained when it came to time travel, to the car scene. Now, like I said, I'm anime only, so even if some of these things are explained in the manga, I'm just counting it as the anime, because this is the Anime Awards of 2016, not manga/anime awards of 2016. And, I mean, there's just so many things about the entirety of Erased I didn't like. Even the villain, the villain's motive and all that, just like, what? It could have been fleshed out more, and, I could have understood it more, but they didn't really try to do that. So, I mean, him being the best villain of last year, that honestly kind of disgusts me, because, I mean, Kira was a hell of a lot better of a villain because of the way he was set up, to his habits, the way he wants to live a peaceful life. Kira just suits being one of the best villains of last year. And then, Beetlejuice as well. I mean, even though he wasn't the best well-written character with the crazy motive, Beetlejuice was just a better villain. He just overall was a more interesting character, in my personal opinion, than Gaku ever was. Gaku was just, a regular stereotypical villain, didn't really have any interesting motive, whatever, but I mean, at the very least, the way Beetlejuice acted, he was very quirky and different, and Kira, it's fucking Kira. Kira was crazy. Kira, I loved his villain. I loved his character, and so to see how he lost to Gaku from Erase, that honestly makes me a little bit salty. I just gotta be completely honest here. Just, that makes me salty, and I mean, if you like Gaku and you liked Erase, fine. By all means, enjoy it, but however, I don't think that, I don't know how Kira, of all people, lost to someone like Gaku. Just, it's, how did that fucking happen? Anyways, let's carry on. Best boy, okay, so, best boy is Yuri, from Yuri on Ice, and I already know about the poll. I kind of already glanced over this poll, like the awards and stuff, to see who won the most, and majority of the winners is Yuri on Ice. Like, all of the different things to, like, best animation, to opening, all that comes down to Yuri on Ice, and I'm gonna be just point blank with you. Yuri on Ice was a good series last season. It was. It was a very fucking good series. I'm not gonna take it away from the series like that. I'm not gonna say it's a shit series. I'm not. Yuri on Ice was a good series. However, I do not think it deserved all the awards it got in this award, like Anime Awards of 2016. I do not think it deserved all of them. However, it was a good series. I do not think it deserved all of them. And Best Boy, I'm going to be honest, Yuri was a good character. He was. I liked the way the direction the series went with the story, to the development, and also the controversial themes. I love that. However, I do not think that Yuri is Best Boy of 2016. In my personal opinion, I would probably say, Best Boy of 2016 would probably go to either Subaru or Gintoki, because Gintama did air in 2016. It did. Gintama did air in 2016, so I would definitely say either Gintoki or Subaru from Re:Zero, one or the other. So the runner-up besides Yuri is Reagan, which makes a lot of sense. Mob Psycho, he's also someone that actually deserves to be one of the winners too. Reagan was a really good character. I loved his style, the way, you know, he helped out Mob and stuff in Mob Psycho 100. So Reagan being in the list, I have no problem with whatsoever. And also the most popular other, Josuke, makes sense too. So Josuke being, you know, a part of the Best Boy list, and Reagan as well, I have no problem with those two. However, Yuri, there was a lot of other characters from last year that were a hell of a lot more developed than he was. Just gonna be point blank. Now, Best Girl list, automatically, as you can see, Rim. And I mean, you can already see the stats on, you know, the list. 60% voted for Rim, 15% for Ochako from Boku no Hero Academia, and then Megumi Konosuba, most popular other, that's what she was, like the third up most popular other. So if you look at this list right now, Rim just dominated the Best Girl of last year, and I want to be completely honest, if Rim was not Best Girl in this awards, I would have literally been so pissed off, because Re:Zero was so popular, but on top of that, the character of Rim and that confession scene of what she did for Subaru was something out of this world that not many of us have ever seen from any anime series. And if Rim did not get the Best Girl award from last year of anime, I would have been mad salty. So her being Best Girl makes a hell of a lot of sense, from all the development she got, to what she went through, to how far she went for Subaru. And I mean, seeing just the 60% to the 15%, just like, it makes a hell of a lot of sense. Don't get me wrong, Ochako, I like Ochako, by the way, from Boku no Hero Academia. She's actually one of my favorite female characters besides Momo and Tsuyu, but Rim definitely deserves it, so I'm completely satisfied with this alone. Just to see Best Girl Rim on the awards, how she is Best Girl. So, Best Fight Scene. Winner is pretty much Mob Psycho 100, and 40% to 25% from Deku versus Bakugo. And I can see why the best fight scene would be this fight from Mob Psycho. I mean, it makes a hell of a lot of sense. Mob Psycho is very artistic. It had great animation, and it had a great color palette, and so many would probably remember this epic fight from Mob Psycho 100. And so it being the winner to be 40% and the runner-up being 25%, it makes a hell of a lot of sense. But I think some are forgetting about one fight from last year that I feel deserves mentioning at the very least, an honorable mention, and that would definitely be the Gintoki versus Takasugi fight from Gintama. Yes, Gintama was in 2016, there was a crazy fight, and I'm just really disappointed that fight was not mentioned at all in the best fight scene. At the very least, as most popular other, it wasn't mentioned. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know there's a lot of Naruto and Sasuke fans, and I know that, you know, this is a popularity poll, so obviously Naruto would win, but it just makes me upset that Gintama wasn't even mentioned in the best fight scene, and let alone, it's, FYI, spoiler alert, it's not even mentioned in any other best, best runner-up or whatever, winner or most popular. Gintama is not mentioned at all, and it really saddens me to actually hear this, and actually see this in this article, how Gintama isn't even mentioned, even for, as, at the very least, for most popular other, or even for one of the most heart-touching scenes. I mean, that scene at the end of Gintama 2016, I don't want to spoil it if you haven't watched Gintama, but if you saw the anime, you know what I'm talking about. That was some sad shit that happened, so I'm just kind of disappointed that this list, like this entirety of these awards, don't even mention Gintama. They don't even acknowledge that it exists at all, so it's kind of sad. Anyways, though, winner, Mob Psycho. Second place, Boku no Hero Academia. I'm fine with that. I'm personally fine. I'm just disappointed Gintama was not mentioned at the very least at all. Now, besides that, best animation. Yuri on Ice, 48% to Mob Psycho's 28%. Okay, I'm just gonna be straight up. No. No fucking way. No fucking way. I'm sorry. Yuri on Ice, yes, it had some good animation. It had some art, slips here and there, but overall the animation was good. And I know for a fact the production team that was working on Yuri on Ice, they put a hell of a lot of effort into it just to capture the movements of all the characters. I am not going to take it away from Yuri on Ice. However, I do not think it is the best animation of 2016. I mean, number one, Mob Psycho's animation art is just so different, stands out. I do not think it should have lost to Yuri on Ice, just straight up. Next thing, ReZero. ReZero has some very good animation, being the most popular other. I'm glad at the very least it's mentioned, but I still think in some regards, in some scenes, ReZero beat Yuri on Ice. I mean, that's not even getting into Tales of Zestiria, which that's from Studio Fotable. So if you know Studio Fotable, you know how crazy they are with their animation. So just some of these things, it doesn't make sense. And I feel like the reason why Yuri on Ice dominates the charts so much is because it's a recent conclusion, like a recent series that ended from last season. And so it's fresh in everybody's mind. Everybody remembers Yuri on Ice, but they don't remember the series from earlier this year, like Gintama or even ReZero. Some might remember ReZero, but some might not mention it first thing right off the bat because they think of series from Fall of Anime 2016. So many are not realizing that. So Yuri on Ice being on, the list majority of it, it makes sense because it's one of the things that recently concluded. It just makes me sad because I just do not think it deserved best animation. It had great animation, but it definitely did not deserve the best award for the greatest animation of 2016. Now, most heartwarming scene, the kiss. Okay, now this is a very controversial one right here, okay? The kiss scene, it definitely, it's like a scene that makes history with how gay themes are handled in series. And I can see why many might say this is a heartwarming scene, because it has a very clear message, and I even talked about this in my anime reviews. And I honestly have no problem with most heartwarming scene going to this, because this actually plays a huge role in real life, not just in the anime community or manga community. It plays a huge role in how the world is changing and how the outlook is changing on same-sex relationships. And so, most heartwarming scene being Yuri on Ice, honestly, I don't disagree with it. I don't. However, there is a lot of scenes from this year I personally felt that was more heartwarming to me, but I can see why many might think this is very heartwarming just because of the message behind it. Personally, one of the most heartwarming scenes from this year definitely went to Rim's confession scene, and I'm glad it's mentioned in the most, popular other, so, I mean, I'm fine with that. At the very least, Rim was mentioned and all that, but the runner-up, second place being Kaio's first home-cooked meal, I'm sorry, no, fuck that shit. Now, I'm sorry, Erased had very one-dimensional characters, and I'm sorry. Yes, it was a sweet scene, but there's so many scenes out there that are a hell of a lot better from last season. I mean, there's some stuff like, Threegasu, March comes in like a lion, to, also Rakugo that had some very heartwarming scenes, and it just amazes me how scenes like this have lost to, freaking Erased. So it's just like, what the fuck? But, I mean, the kiss scene with Yuri on Ice, this scene makes a lot of sense. Rim's confession scene, I think, should have been runner-up or winner. Yuri on Ice and Rim's confession should have been either winner or runner-up. I don't think, Erased should have been second place at all. And if anything else that should have been added in, it should have been maybe March Comes In Like a Lion or Rakugo Season 1. One or the other should have been added into the most heartwarming scene. So, best drama. Oh my god. Oh my my god, what? It's just like, oh, okay. You're telling me the best drama is fucking Erased with 51 fucking %. Are you, what? Like, what? 50 fucking 1% voted on Erased as the best drama? What? And then runner-up Kids Naiver at fucking 22%. And then Orange, most popular other... Dude, Orange is a piece of shit. Like, oh my god. Orange is so bad. Like, no. No! Like, if you watch Kazu no Honkai or whatever, that series, I can't remember the full name, but it's Kazu. If you watch that series that came out the fucking day, that series just takes a massive dump on everything in this list. On freaking Erased, and yes, even Kids Naiver, it had some very good drama, but even takes a dump on Kids Naiver and fucking Orange. Are you telling me? You're fucking telling me that Erased is the best drama of 2016? I'm mad salty right now. Like, are you fucking serious? Like, Rakugo. Fucking Rakugo. Dude, I know Rakugo isn't the most popular series. And like I said, this is a popularity poll. But Rakugo is such a better series. Rakugo passively fucking wrecks Erased in Orange. It doesn't even need to bat an eye at these two series because Rakugo is that fucking good. And you're telling me it lost to freaking Erased. What? What? Okay. Anyways, going on. Best couple. Best couple, Yuri and Victor. Runner-up, Satoru and Kaio. Most popular other, Subaru and Rim. Okay, so once again, Yuri on Ice on the list is the winner. As I said, the reason for this is because it's one of the series that recently ended from the latest season, so it's fresh in everybody's mind. Also, the message behind the couple to Yuri and Victor, it makes a hell of a lot of sense. It has a really good meaning to a lot of people out there in real life, and so I can understand why this easily dominated the chart as best couple. However, I do say that in terms of everything else from this year, there wasn't a lot of good couples, so I could see why Yuri on Ice won Best Couple Award. I mean, Subaru and Rim, very good couple. Definitely most popular other, but I don't think, honestly, that there's much competition for this regard. I mean, there's some stuff from maybe, Rakugo, but overall, there's not a hell of a lot of competition for Best Couple for this year. I mean, from the anime I personally have seen from anime of 2016. So I could see why Yuri on Ice won this one. I do. But runner-up, Satoru and Kaio, fucking... Dude, the man didn't even get with Kaio. The man didn't even get with fucking Kaio. Like, the man didn't even fucking get with, like, dude, like, let me talk about how fucking shitty that is. Just seeing the fucking runner-up as Satoru and Kaio. Fucking the villain waited for the freaking main male character longer than the main female character, Kaio. Kaio's like, fuck you, I'm moving on with my life. I want to have a kid. I want to get with your best friend. Fuck you, okay? You can be in a hospital bed. But the freaking villain waits for Satoru all those years. Like, what? Like, no, they're not the best couple. They were never even a couple to begin with. They couldn't have been because of the conclusion. Like, yo, what the fuck? Like, no, that's so bad. Oh, that's so bad. Oh yeah, best comedy. Haven't you heard I'm Sakamoto? That makes a hell of a lot of sense, but also comedy is subjective. You can't really judge comedy. You can't say if this comedy is good or bad, because at the end of the day, comedy is subjective. So I can't really say what should have been the best comedy and what isn't the best comedies, because it's purely just being subjective. And so, winner being Haven't You Heard I'm Sakamoto, it makes a lot of sense. It was a very popular series, and it was very, very funny, and I can see why many might say this was the best of last year. Runner-up Konosuba makes a hell of a lot of sense as well, because Konosuba is a very beloved series, grew a very big fan base after the first season of the anime, and most popular other, which comes at a very big surprise, Nanbaka. I'm actually very surprised Nanbaka was able to get most popular other. I mean, it was funny, don't get me wrong, but I just think there could have been other series from this year that easily could have beat Nanbaka, but yeah, as I said, comedy subjective, so I can't really say. Anyways, best action. Mob Psycho 100, runner-up, My Hero Academia, most popular other, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Okay, so Mob Psycho as the best action? Yeah, I would agree with that. I would definitely go with Mob Psycho being the best in terms of action from 2016. The only other action series I can really think of that comes on the top of my head is Boku no Hero Academia, and JoJo, obviously, in Gintama. So, in terms of action series, Mob Psycho winning, it stood out amongst the entirety of the crowd when it came to action scenes from this year. So, yes, I would definitely say best action would go to Mob Psycho. I'm completely fine with this. Runner-up, My Hero Academia, makes a lot of sense as well, because there was some good action throughout that series, and also a very, very good art and animation that was added to the series. So, yeah, runner-up and winner makes a hell of a lot of sense. Most popular other, JoJo as well, makes sense too, so I have no problems with best action. Now, best opening song, Yuri on Ice. Okay. Now, this is the point where I say, stop. Just stop what you're doing. Like, why? Yes, Yuri on Ice had a very good opening. Yes, Yuri on Ice had a very good fucking ending. But it is not the best. I'm sorry, it is not the best. It had a very good opening, but it is not the best. No. I mean, Mob Psycho's opening was freaking crazy. ReZero's openings were freaking crazy. The ending songs of ReZero was freaking crazy. Mob Psycho's ending was freaking crazy. I mean, there's a bunch of series from this year had better opening and ending songs. And what? I mean, this just goes to prove that the only reason why Yuri on Ice dominated this chart is because it's a series that recently ended from Fall of Anime 2016. And once again, I want to state that I don't hate Yuri on Ice. I love Yuri on Ice. It's a freaking great series. But I do not think it deserved all these awards. It just does not. It does not deserve best ending and best opening, because there's a hell of a lot better out there and a lot of more time and work that was put in. I mean, look at the freaking opening song to JoJo, okay? The JoJo opening song, just break down, you see the entire song just freaking in reverse. The animators went the extra mile to animate the song in reverse. That was crazy. I would say best opening would definitely go to maybe even JoJo from this year, but it didn't even get that, so it didn't even get mentioned. JoJo did not even get mentioned. So, yeah, I mean, what even gets me is the ranking in the best opening. Look, winner Yuri on Ice, 57% voted on Yuri on Ice as the best opening. Runner-up, that means second place, with 23% Mob Psycho. Mob Psycho got absolutely fucking crushed by Yuri on Ice. How? And then best ending, Yuri on Ice 56%, and then Mob Psycho 19%. Dude, this is even worse than the freaking opening. What? So, just to be point blank here, I do not think that Yuri on Ice deserved all that. There's some things I agree with from this, and there's a lot of things I do not agree with from this. And, yeah. I think the biggest offenders is Villain of the Year, probably Best Animation, and Best Drama. Definitely the biggest offenders of the year. Definitely. Just, there's just no way that, there's just no way. But regardless, though, at the end of the day, that's my personal opinion on the matter. How do you all feel about this, these awards? Do you agree with them? Do you disagree with them? And I mean, what do you think should have won, let's say, best fight scene, best girl, best boy, so forth? Let me know in the comments below. I'm very curious to see everybody's thoughts. But yeah. At the very least, Rim is best girl. It's okay, Rim is best girl. You don't have to worry. Nobody's making fun of you anymore, putting you on a twister board. Now you're best girl. You'll be remembered. So yeah, you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.